Y'all know it's so funny. I was getting ready to tell my story about how someone stalked me for about 5 years. Not only did I have a dream about this person last night, girl, like, this shit is just real crazy. Like, I think I'm ready to tell my story. I've had this girl obsessed with me for about, I don't know, since 2018 or whatever. Like, I purchased something from her store on Etsy, and I thought we was cool. But then, like, she ended up being like batshit crazy.
So let's say, here we go. We about to get into it. Story time. This girl that lived in another state stalked me for 7 years and tried to unalive me 3 years ago. Let's get into it.
Okay, so story time. So I used to have an account on Etsy where I sold like some of my own merchandise and product. And I came across another black small business owner. So, me being a girl's girl, I'm like, oh, let me support her. So I supported her and bought one of her products. And shortly after I bought one of her products, like, she DM'd me on Etsy and was like, hey, I just want to thank you for, supporting my business, blah, blah. And we just kind of kicked off from there. Mind you, I didn't think nothing of it. So she just kept messaging me back and forth. And at some point, we eventually formed a friendship. I gave her my number. She lived in another state. And I was thinking, okay, like, this is cool. I'm always support another black woman. And at some point, she started following me on social media. Not really sure how she found me on social media, but I followed her back. So she started following me on my social medias, all of them. I'm like, okay, so I'm not really thinking nothing of it. I'm thinking she just want to, like, support, be a girl's girl, whatever. So anyways, I started dealing with the guy, like, we were on and off or whatever. And I'm not really the type that you can play with. Either you in or you in. And if you out, you out. If you come back in, you got to put a ring on that finger. That's the only way you really going to get my attention or get me to stay. So that's what he did. In 2020, he came back. We got engaged the same year. Mind you, that when I tell you that's a story in itself, it's a story in itself, because we got back together during the Venus retrograde of 2020. And if you survived that or you've dated anybody during that time, girl, you know.
It don't even sound like that was a smart thing to do. Like, she, when you come back, you got to put a ring on it. It didn't work the first time. What the hell is going on?
You know how that shit ended, okay? Okay. But anyways, so around that time, like in 2020, I remember that summer, like, she just popped up. Like, she'll call and be like, hey, I'm in Atlanta. I'm like, okay, cool. So, I would say, hey, you can meet me at this spot, or we go out to eat. We go out to like little brunches, little hookah spots or whatever. And of course, me, like, I feel like if my friends travel to come see me, or they're traveling and visiting the city that I reside in, I always take care of the bill. It's just me. I don't know. It's a thing. I don't mind treating my friends. I love my friends. I don't like splitting the bill, right? Because my friends do the same for me. Like, if they invite me out, they take care of the bill. We never have separate checks. And in addition to that, like, my partner at that time always made sure I was good. So, you know, lunch, dinner, whatever was most of the time on him. But I always noticed, like, she just kind of had like a weird vibe. Now, over the years, like, we started to get a little closer, especially in 2020, and she shared with me like some personal things about like how her mom doesn't like her. Like, she's had a very estranged relationship with her mom, and she had this huge disdainment for being identified as black. Mind you, she's a black woman. I'm a black woman. I'm Gullah Geechee, but at my core, I'm still going to identify as a black woman. She would always say weird things about like not identifying as a black woman. So that in itself was very strange to me. It correlated her sense of identity or lack thereof with the experience that she had with her mother growing up. Because if your mom don't like you and you never really learn how to tap into that feminine energy, I feel like that has long-term psychological effects if you don't heal that. So in a sense, I've always felt sorry for her. So she made like little comments, like little digs, like very minute digs. I really didn't pay no attention because I know it was coming from a place of hurt. Like, I operate from a place of passion and compassion. So before I get upset at someone, I offer them grace. And I felt like I offered her a lot of grace, right? Because the things that she was saying wasn't blatantly disrespectful. It was like little small jigs. Like, for an example, the first time that she came to my home, she looked around and she was like, oh, you have crystals everywhere. I don't know how you could be protected with crystals. Little did I know that was a red flag in itself. I just did not know. But she would make little comments like that. And I was just like, what? Okay, like, whatever. I'm not really thinking too much of it. The girl's weird, but you know, maybe she's from a small town. She's from Gainesville, Florida. Actually, she's originally from the Bahamas, but when she
I ain't gonna lie, that's very weird. That was very weird to say. I'm be like, you can't come over here no more. That's what I would have said to myself.
was like a little girl, like 3 years old, like her mom stopped taking care of her and sent her to live with her grandparents in Gainesville, Florida. And I knew that she had like a really rough life. Like she kind of grew up in the streets, kind of similar to Jocelyn Hernandez. And just for anybody that know, when you don't have a relationship with the first woman in your life, that really can affect how you form relationships with other women. Always been really graceful with her and understanding like, hey, like this is the long-term effects of her not building that relationship. So I'm going to be a woman that show her grace. And every now and then, again, like she would make little comments like, oh, a queen is this, a queen is that. And I don't understand how somebody can identify themselves as a queen. And being queen, you have to be crowned in another village and all kind of weird shit she was just saying. Because when she came around and she came in my town, when people addressed me, they always called me queen. They either called me Queen Cat, Queen, or Thundercat. And I guess that kind of rubbed her the wrong way. But to identify as a queen does not necessarily mean that you rule over someone else or you demand respect from others. That's a part of it, demanding respect from others, but it's your essence. Being a queen is respecting your body, respecting your boundaries, being in tune with your inner being, being in tune with that boss bitch side of you. You know, that's what a queen is. It is to rule oneself in true confidence and true identity and true love and true acceptance. That's what it means to be a queen. It is to have full sovereignty over your body and your life and your destiny at the highest form of love and respect that's unique to you. That's what it means to be a queen. And walking in the essence as a queen, people instantly respect you. You're gonna have haters, of course, but those haters don't let to ever try you. So I guess that's something that she never witnessed up front from other women. So I guess that's something that she felt threatened by. And essentially, I just felt sorry for her. I felt really sorry for her. So I just didn't take things personal. Now, here's where it gets crazy, y'all. So back in like 2022, my fiance at that time, we decided like, this is not going to work for us. Like, we broke up. And girl, I'm going to tell y'all this. If you've ever said that God remove anyone from my life that is not for me, baby, when I tell you that prayer will sweep through like a reek, when I tell you that thing will clear out so quick, I did that prayer and the next day me and my ex-fiance broke up. And I was like, you know what? God, this is a sign. Divine, this is a sign. I'm going to take it. So, you know, he ended up sleeping in my office, but he stayed there for like about a month after we broke up. This was like back in April 2022. That's when we broke up. So around that time, I noticed that same girl, the girl that's stalking me, what are we going to call her? I wouldn't even give her name. We're going to call her Alex, okay? We're going to call her Alex. So at that time, Alex kept popping up to my house like every single week. Mind you, she lives in a different state. That's at least an 8-hour drive. She was popping up like 3 days a week. Driving back and forth 3 days a week. And I thought this was so strange. So whenever she would pop up at my house unannounced, I would always take her to the patio. Just something in me would tell her, let's not sit in the house. And on top of that, I smoke, she smokes. So I don't smoke in my house because I have a child. So we would always be on the patio.
It say Alex started popping up at my house immediately after my ex and I broke up. Mind you, I was completely fine after the relationship ended. I didn't need any emotional support or anything.
Patio the whole time. I would ask her like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you in Atlanta? Or bring you to Atlanta? And she would always say, I have a mentor. I'm here to see my mentor. And I'm like, 3 days a week and you driving up every day? Very strange. Mind you, remember that prayer I said, right? Don't forget that. Let's remember that. Said the prayer. Y'all, tell me why every time after that, 3-4 times in a row, she got into a car accident on her way coming up here. She totaled her car, turned around, rented another car, totaled that car, rented another car, got in an accident with that car all within a 2-week time span. And then she kept trying to take flight. Things was happening with her flights. Y'all, if that wasn't God's protection, like y'all, I could not make this shit up. So I'm going about my merry way. And I noticed that she was just having like a lot of bad luck. Car accident, flights, and now another situation where her baby daddy snuck in the house and beat up her and her boo thing. Real crazy shit. It was almost like God was just trying to stop this girl from coming to see me. So we didn't talk for about a week. I figured maybe she just needed some time to focus on her life and try to get everything together. Totally understood. I did text her from time to time, but she never responded. So during this time, I noticed that she's like revamping her whole life. I'm here for a revamp. I'm like, hey, perfect. So she changes all of her social media handles from the Swamp Witch to her new business name, which is Goddess blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool, girl. I love that for you. But I noticed that she started doing all the things that I told her I wanted to do. I had an Amazon store. She got an Amazon store. I wanted to start a podcast. She wanted to start a podcast. I wanted to go to school for pure consciousness and intuitive life coaching. All of a sudden, she enrolled in school. Now, look, I'm out here for my friends bossing up their life. Like, yes, girl, because you're not supposed to stay the same person. And honestly, it really doesn't bother me if someone is doing something similar to me. Think about when you walk on a bread aisle. There are like countless brands of bread, but all of them are quite different. None of them are exactly the same. So it doesn't matter if a person is doing the same thing as me. It won't be the same niche. It won't have the same taste, the same flavor, the same vibe. So it really doesn't bother me. If your friends are inspired by you, that's what it's supposed to be. People are supposed to be inspired by you. That's how I took it. She's just inspired by what I'm doing. Cool. So here's where it got weird. So one night I go to bed and I have another dream of her. But in this dream, she manifested as like a hag. Now, again, for those of you who don't know, I'm Gullah Geechee. So a hag to me in my culture is like an old witch that's trying to ride you and take your energy from you, like they sit on your chest in your dream. I didn't have sleep paralysis or anything like that. Like I could move, but I could just see her as a hag coming in my dream. And as I'm waking up from my dream and she's coming to me in my dream, but she's not touching me. As I'm waking up from my dream, she's calling me. This is 6:08 a.m. in the morning. Girl, I was like, what is going on here? Oh my God, what is going on here? So she calls me again and I answer. And she's like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, I was asleep. Like, what's up? You know? And I'm still kind of like out of it. Like, I don't know if you've ever woke up from a strange dream and life just kind of hit you real quick. Like, you're kind of like a little bit out of it. And that's how I felt. And she calls me and says like, hey, I'm just checking on you. At 6 a.m. in the morning. 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay, very strange. So I start my day, didn't think nothing of it, right? Then all of a sudden, like around maybe 11 a.m. this morning, I get another call from her. And she calls me and said, hey, I took a flight to Atlanta. Like, my bags are lost. Like, I have no one to come pick me up. Can you come pick me up from the airport? Y'all, when I tell you, I just had the most horrible, gut-wrenching feeling. And I truly regret not listening to this feeling. So, as a good friend, I go and I pick her up from the airport. When I go pick her up from the airport, she doesn't have any bags, anything. Like, she's just standing off to the side. I guess she was trying to rent a car when she touched down in Atlanta, but they flagged her name with every car rental company and she could not rent a car. She said that she was down there to visit her mentor for a day. I'm like, okay, you're visiting your mentor for the day, but you packed the luggage? Okay, all right, whatever. And she was like, oh my God, like, I need to take a shower. Like, can I come to your house? Mind you, when she got in the car, she smelled like really, really, really bad. And she broke out in like pimples all over her face. So I was like, oh my God, poor thing. Like, she's probably really stressed. So I'm like, okay, cool. You can take a shower at my place. So we drive back to my place. Mind you, all the times that she's ever come to my house, we've never stayed inside of my house. I've always taken her to the patio. Remember that. So we get to the house. I get her a towel. I show her where my room is. My room is like connected to my bathroom. Like, you go into my room, my bathroom's there, and right around the corner is my closet. So I get her a towel, I get her everything, all nice. I'm like, oh my God, let me set the temperature for you, blah, blah, blah. And I let her take a shower. I decided to go out in the patio and, finish smoking my hookah. And I just had this really strong feeling, like this really overwhelming, it was an extreme overwhelming feeling. And I don't know, something was just telling me like, she's going through your shit. Like, she's going through your stuff because she'd been in there for like more than half an hour. So as I get up and I go inside to check on her, she's walking out. But I just had this feeling that she was just going through my stuff. So as I'm trying to shake this feeling, she's like, oh, I actually decided to not see my mentor today. I'm just gonna hang out with you for a little bit until my flight leaves. Her flight was like a turnaround flight. It was like at 3:00 or something. Now, if you live in Atlanta, you know it's best for you to leave kind of early, like hours before your flight, because traffic is crazy. So pretty much, she just took a shower and we hung out for a few minutes, and then I was taking her back to the airport. I just thought this was real strange. I'm like, why did she come all the way here to cancel on her mentor, take a shower, and leave? It is real strange to me. So I take her back to the airport, didn't think nothing of it. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is just so strange. Like, I feel like she just went through my shit. I don't know. I've never felt this before. I feel like she went through my shit. Fast forward a few days later, I'm doing my thing, and I decide to take a hike on one of my favorite trails in Atlanta. It has a beautiful waterfall. I love to go there and sit by the water. So I'm sitting by the water. I have my feet in the water, right? And that day, I'll never forget this day. That day, I was wearing my Freda shirt. I think I have a picture of it. I'll tag it here. I was wearing my Freda shirt and had flowers on here, and I was wearing some biker shorts, right? Just sitting over there vibing. I get a call from her, and she's just telling me about like her day, and we're just chatting it up. And then she goes, oh, I just look such a mess today. Like, I'm wearing this floral shirt with some little tight shorts on, and I just look like a stud bitch. She was describing what I had on that day. Now, mind you, when she called me, I was bent over, like kind of like this, so you could only see the flower pots because I had like my hand in the water and my feet in the water. But she was describing everything I was wearing. I'm like, is this bitch watching me? And like all the thoughts just went through my head. I'm like, how could she watch me if she's in Florida? Stalker or no stalker, you're not gonna disrespect me. Period. So since we took the tone from nice nasty to blatant disrespect, I'm gonna be real classy. So I responded to her and I said, well, you call it a mess and I call it an effortless slay. That was my way of letting her know, like, bitch, I see you. Because I don't care what you've been through in life. You won't sit here and disrespect me to my face. But again, I'm all about never letting a person see me sweat. Never. When I tell you, she was silent. So I said, okay, babe, well, I'm going to talk to you later. But it was obvious that she was watching me. So, girl, I already scooted up my stuff and got the hell on up out of there, okay? I scurried out that waterfall so goddamn quick, got in my car, head back home. You're on ice. It's too weird for me. I was understanding to the situation with her upbringing. I was understanding about her identity. I was understanding when she made comments about my identity. Understanding and graceful when she insulted my home. Understanding and graceful when she started copying me. I've never done nothing to this girl to ever disrespect her. Never stole from her. Never talked about her kids. Never fucked her man. Nothing. Nothing for that blatant disrespect. Ever. I think some people confuse giving someone grace with being green. There's nothing green about me. I don't have to deal with this in my life. You can go. You can leave. You can leave. Dismiss. The next day goes by. I didn't tell her anything. Didn't respond to her phone call. All of a sudden, I get this random Instagram message from this random fake page with a message that says, hey, babe, there's a lot of bad energy around you. I could just feel the aura around you. I think someone tried to curse you. Please. I don't have time for this. Please. I know it's you, girl, but I couldn't prove it. So I just blocked the page. I'm going to tell y'all this straight up. I consider myself a very highly intuitive person. I've always had a strong intuition ever since I was a little girl. And over the years, I allowed people to gaslight me into not trusting myself and not believing my gut. But in 2022, that year, I really stepped into my power and trusted myself. And I feel like the longer that I kept this girl around, the more I was doing a disservice to myself and dishonoring myself by not listening to that gut feeling that something is really off with her, and she's a person that I just cannot trust. Like, I feel like she's a person that would hurt me. Especially after the comment where I was by myself by the waterfall and she described everything I had on. So the next day I prepare to take a flight to go pick up my daughter from her summer vacation spot. And at this point, I tell no one. Only person that knew I was coming to get my daughter was my mom and my ex-fiance, because he booked the flight for me. Still cool. We broke up or whatever, but we're still cool. At least so I thought. My flight is like 7 a.m. in the morning. That morning, as I'm preparing to pick up my daughter, I get up super early, I do my routine, and I decided to meditate. As I meditate, I hear my intuition saying, hey, you're about to move, but you might not like the circumstances. It freaked me out a little bit, but whatever. So as I'm preparing to leave, something in me was telling me like, hey, go back and open your window. There's a window by my front door, and there's another window on the other side of the front door. I open up the window slightly. I leave. I head to the airport. I get on my flight. I landed safely, pick up my daughter. When I arrived back in Atlanta, I was in a car with my daughter on the way back home, and I received a call from the leasing office. My entire apartment was on fire. So I called my ex-fiance because that's the closest person to my house. He just gotten off of work. I said, hey, I need you to stop by the house. I'm in traffic in Atlanta. Apparently my apartment's on fire. I did not know what to think. This was my home. I've lived on my own since I was 19 years old. I created this place, this beautiful place that I've managed to protect for so many years. I dreamed of my home since I was 17 years old, and I was able to create this loving, soft, nurturing, beautiful environment that represented me. So eventually I pull up to my apartment and it's fire trucks everywhere. Police is everywhere. I didn't want my daughter to see that, so I asked her to stay in my ex-fiance's car. And I'm just wondering, is everyone okay? Are my pets okay? Because I have a dog and a cat. And as soon as I get out of the car, the first thing I see is the firefighters carrying out this quilt that my great-grandmother made for me. That quilt was in the apartment. So I'm just like, okay, maybe this is a good sign. I see that no one's hurt. My pets are outside. They are safe. My cat was given oxygen by the firefighters, and my dog was being held by another firefighter. Fortunately, one of the maintenance guys heard my animals inside, and they went through the window that I left open, climbed in, and opened the door and let my dog out. And some of the firefighters went in there to find my cat, and they found my cat. The first thing I ask everyone is everyone okay? Like all my neighbors, they were fine. Everybody made it out. So the firefighters conducted their investigation and they determined that, oh my God, y'all, like this is hard for me. They stated that it started in the middle of my office. They said that the pressure built in there from the smoke and it shut the door to my office. There was a broken window from the outside of my office. So something could have been thrown through the broken window into my office and set everything on fire. Remember when I told you that my great-grandmother's quilt was being carried out as I pulled up? That quilt was in the office. When I went into the office to go look, everything was gone. Everything was gone. My office was my space where I took my clients, all my business information, paintings and memories. All of my daughter's artwork was in there. And the one thing that didn't burn in my office was my great-grandmother's quilt. I don't know what anybody believes, but if you've ever had any questions or calling about working with the Most High and honoring and venerating your ancestors, this is a sign. Because I promise you, my great-grandmother prayed for me and she showed up that day. Shortly after that, I get a call from that same girl from Florida, and she says that she was looking for me.
Okay, how many of y'all think the friend had something to do with that? She never posted the last part, unfortunately, so we won't ever find out what happened. But they said apparently something was thrown, so maybe the friend did throw something. She was given a lot of red flags, but hey, shout out to this girl's intuition because she done broke up with her ex boyfriend, got rid of another friend, all type of shit. You know what I'm talking about? So shout out to her intuition. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I wish she would have finished the story, but unfortunately she didn't. So it is what it is. Make sure y'all smash that like button, man. I appreciate and love y'all for all y'all support. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Make sure y'all subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, you should be at least subscribed. But if not, you're tripping and you're slipping. All right. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Boy, ready. Big play. Peace.